Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. I'm Sally and this is Secret Life of a Seamstress. I hope you're really well and that you've had a good week. The weeks just seem to be flying by here at the moment and I can't work out if time is going fast or slow. I think January seemed to kind of drag a little bit and it seemed to take forever to kind of go by. But when February came around on Monday, I thought, actually it doesn't seem long since Christmas was here, so maybe time has been going fast. I don't know, it's those strange lockdown times when you can't really work out what day it is or what you're supposed to be doing. Strange times. So I'm here today to share with you a few plans that I have for the new month ahead, the month of February. Just thought I would chat through some new fabrics that I have, some sewing plans that I have, a bit of knitting and just a couple of things that I'm hoping to get made this month. So before I get started talking all about my plans, I'll just share with you what I'm wearing today. And what I'm wearing here is the Grainline Studio Scout Tee. And this is a pattern that I made up quite a while ago now, probably before I started doing these videos. So I don't think I've ever shared it in a makes video. I might be wrong, but I don't think I have. So this is the pattern. It's the Scout Tee by Grainline Studio, and it's just a really simple t-shirt pattern. It's designed to be made from a woven fabric. So if I stand up, you can just see that it's got a nice kind of bit of drape there. It kind of hangs nicely over your hips. And yeah, it's just a really simple, lovely pattern to make. And I don't know why I've not made more of these. This is the only one that I've made up. So my version that I'm wearing here is actually made from a really lovely Atelier Brunette Dobby viscose fabric. And I only had 1 metre of this, and 1 metre was just enough to make up this top. So this pattern is a really good stash buster if you've just got a couple of metres of fabric laying around, then it's a really good kind of way to use those up. So that's the Grainline Studio Scout Tee. The first thing I was going to share with you today is my coat progress. So I shared with you, I've shared a couple of times now that I'm making the I Am Merlin coat by I Am Patterns, and this is my twirl, kindly modelled here by my dress form Lady McElroy, as we call her at home. It looks like she's wearing a lab coat, doesn't it? I made this out of a bed sheet that I just had laying around. So this is the twirl of the coat, and you can see that it's kind of taking shape and it looks a bit more like a coat now, and I feel like I'm kind of getting there with the fitting and everything. So based on my measurements, I did have to take the coat in and shorten it quite a lot. So there were quite a lot of sort of adjustments and things that I needed to make to this. And I kind of felt the whole way that I wasn't really sure what I was doing. It's one of those, it's a big learning curve, but I'm really enjoying it. So I've had to teach myself how to make welt pockets. I've also had to learn how to insert this lining, and I don't know if you'll be able to see on the camera there, but this part is the kind of facing of the coat, and then inside obviously that'll be the lining, although this is all in the same fabric so it's really hard to show you. I'm really pleased that I decided to make this up as a twirl, as a tester, before cutting into my proper fabric, because as I say, there was quite a lot to adjust and a lot of things to learn there. So that's my coat progress. I think I'm just about there really now with all the alterations and things that I need to make. So my next job with it is going to be to kind of draw all of my changes onto the pattern pieces and then get it all cut out of my proper fabric. So that's going to be my main kind of goal for February, to get this coat finished. And just I'll pop in a picture of the fabrics I'm planning to use for the coat. I've got a really lovely camel coloured wool fabric that I picked up from Minerva, and then for the lining I've got like a taffeta checkered kind of lining fabric for inside, so I'm really looking forward to getting that made up. A bit nervous to cut into my really lovely fabric, but yeah, hopefully it will go well. Now I've made a tester version and I know what I'm doing a little bit more. So in January I ordered quite a lot of patterns because I was planning for all of my Make 9 projects, and Minerva actually had quite a good pattern sale on their website during January, so I picked up quite a few patterns, and this one arrived the other day. This is the Carolyn pyjama set by Closet Core Patterns, and you may remember from my Make 9 video that I really wanted to make these up in the shorts version, which is that one, and I'd love to have a go at the piping as well. So Minerva also kindly sent me this beautiful sunglasses cotton print fabric. This is an Art Gallery cotton. It's in a melon colourway it's called, but it's sort of like a peachy orange colour with these really fun sunglass print all over it in sort of an orange, white and navy. And I really love this. I think it will make a great set of pyjamas, and I'd love to have a go at the piping as well. So you can see the piping is all around the collar, and then it's around the bottom of the shorts and around the shirt cuffs as well. So I think it'll be quite a tricky fiddly job to do that piping, but I think the piping really kind of makes that pattern, and I think it's worth taking your time and having a go at that. I've spoken to a few people who have made this pattern and they all have good things to say about it, so I'm really excited to have a go at that, and I think that they will look fab in this cotton fabric. Another fabric that arrived last month was this cute little dog print fabric, the sausage dog fabric that I mentioned in my mate's video. I was halfway through making a pair of pyjamas for my daughter and I'd made the top and I was just waiting for the fabric to arrive to make the leggings for those, and that arrived also in January. So just to show you what the fabric looks like, it's a really stretchy cotton jersey with a really cute doggy sausage dog print all over it, and I just love this. It's really soft. It is on a white background, so if you pull it too much, if it gets too much stretch, the white does show through a little bit on the right side, so you do have to be just a bit careful with that. But yeah, I absolutely love that fabric, so I'm looking forward to making up the pyjama bottoms to go with my daughter's new pyjama set. That should just be a quick and easy little project to do in about an hour. Famous last words, I know, I've said that before, and then I've had awful disasters with the quick projects that I'm expecting. So yeah, but it should be a quick project. I've made those leggings up quite a few times, and I really need to get that set finished. So another lovely fabric I kindly was sent by Minerva in exchange for a blog post is this beautiful Lady McElroy knit fabric. So this is really lovely, and I thought it was really unusual. It's a kind of knitted jersey fabric. I don't know if you call it jersey or not, but it's a knit fabric with lots of little eyelet holes in it. So you can see as I'm holding it up there how see-through it is, but I just thought that was really pretty. So with this fabric, I'm planning to make another Billy sweatshirt. So this is the Billy pattern if you need to see it. I know I've shown it quite a lot before, but I'm going to make the puffy balloon sleeved version of the sweatshirt, and I'm just going to do the gathering at the cuff rather than at the top here. So I'm just going to have that kind of gathered balloony effect at the bottom of the cuff around your wrist rather than at the top as well, just because I think that that will suit this fabric better. But this time I'm actually going to lengthen the sleeves a little bit because they do come up quite short, and I think a few people have found that. In my other version of this sweatshirt, I think the kind of cuff comes to about 1 inch before my wrist, if you know what I mean. So I think I'm going to add about 1 inch to the length of the sleeve just to kind of give it that more gathery effect around the wrist because it will be longer, and I think that that'll work better if I just give a bit more length there. So that's what I'm planning with this lovely knit make, and I'm really excited to work with this because it's quite a different sort of fabric. Because as you can see there's quite a lot of stretch in this fabric, I'm just going to use the main fabric for the neckband and the cuffs and the waistband because I think that'll work fine. So that's what I have planned for this lovely fabric. Another thing that I would like to get sewn up in February is this beautiful French terry fabric that I've had for quite a while from Stoff and Still, and originally I was going to make a pair of Juno pyjamas from this. I think since I've made my loungewear set, if you haven't seen, I made a loungewear set of the Linden sweatshirt for the top and the Stella joggers by tinning the buttons for the bottom. I'll put a picture in just in case you would like to see it. And I absolutely love that as a loungewear set, and I'm thinking now that maybe this kind of thicker French terry fabric would make a really nice set of exactly the same loungewear. So I think that's what I'm going to do. You can see from the fabric, you can see if I hold it up there, how big and bold this print is. So when I ordered this I didn't quite realise that the flowers and the print was so big, but it's really lovely. It's my kind of colours really. I love this kind of light pale blue, and I just think that will make a really kind of fancy nice loungewear set to pop on in the evenings when you want to watch telly or just kind of be cosy. So hopefully I'll get that sewn up this month because I really want to do it while it's still chilly outside, and I want to be able to sort of get the most out of that. So I'm hoping to get that made this month. And the Stella joggers and the Linden sweatshirt are both quite quick makes, so hopefully they shouldn't take me too long to get sewn up once I get on with them. So another project that I thought I'd share with you, which I'm definitely not going to get finished this month, but it's something that I've started. It's a new knitting project. So I've had this book, Mode at Rowan knitting book, that I picked up from John Lewis quite a while ago now. I got it for about £2 in one of their sales, and I really liked the kind of oversized knits that they have in this book. So this has sat around for quite a while and I've not attempted any of the patterns in it so far. The wool or the yarn that this book uses is called Rowan Brushed Fleece, and it's quite expensive, as most Rowan yarns are. So I've kind of kept my eye out on some knitting websites and other places just to see if this wool ever goes in the sale. And I was looking around last month just to see if I could find any for quite cheap. And I actually found quite a good deal for this wool on Amazon. So I finally kind of plucked up the courage to give one of these projects a go, and I ordered 8 balls of this yarn. So it's a Rowan Brushed Fleece, and I've got it in this lovely grey colour. So I didn't realise that you could buy woolen yarn from Amazon, so that's new to me. So the pattern that I'm hoping to knit with this lovely grey yarn is this Rowan Silver jumper, and you can see that it's quite a plain jumper, but it does have a cable knit pattern on the front. So the pattern is actually on the front and back, but I'm just going to do the pattern on the front of this jumper because just to make my life easier really, and just because I felt like having something to just sit and knit without thinking too much in the evenings. And I thought it would be fine just to have a plain back and a cabled front. So that's my plans for this yarn. I've had some trouble with the sizing of this actually. So I always do a tension swatch. You're supposed to use a 7mm needle for this yarn. When I used my 7mm needle to make my tension square, it came up so big. So I sized down to a 6mm and started to cast on my jumper, and I was making the smallest size anyway. And even on those needles it still came up absolutely huge. So what I've had to do now is actually lose some stitches from the back of the jumper. I've had to work out sort of my pattern so that I can reduce the number of stitches I need to cast on just to make it come up the right width, otherwise it's going to be absolutely huge. So I hope I'm doing the right thing there, and I hope it's going to work out okay. So I haven't got very far at all with this at the moment, but I'll just show you how it's knitting up. So it's really lovely. It looks like it's going to be really soft and cozy, and it's really nice to knit with. It's a little bit catchy because it's got that kind of fluffy texture, but yeah, you can see that it's quite wide even when I've sized down, so I hope it's going to fit me okay. But yeah, I'm really enjoying that so far. So that's my knitting project for February, even though it'll probably take me far longer than just this month to complete. So finally, I just thought I would do a little bit of a kind of Netflix and book catch up with you all, because I really like talking about things I've been watching and hearing what other people have been watching on the telly, and especially during these lockdown times when we're all watching more TV and probably reading more as well. On Netflix we've been watching quite a few kind of vintage styled and vintage inspired things. We've watched The Queen's Gambit recently, which was amazing, and I absolutely loved it. And if you like vintage fashion like I do, you will absolutely love it. So it's all kind of set in the 60s, and all of the outfits kind of 50s, 60s. And yeah, I actually need to watch it all again just to kind of see all of the lovely outfits and look at them all again and ogle over them. So that's a really good watch, especially if you like kind of vintage fashion and vintage style like I do. Definitely go and watch The Queen's Gambit. We've also just finished watching The Serpent, and that is another one that was absolutely brilliant if you love vintage fashion. That's all set in the 70s, so it's all kind of 70s style, kind of hippie looking clothes, but Jenna Coleman, who plays the lead in that, has an amazing wardrobe, and I just spent most of my time kind of ogling all the clothes that she was wearing. The storyline of it is actually quite harrowing. It's a true crime story, which is a pretty horrible story really. I won't give too much away, but you will know what I mean if you have watched it. Yeah, the kind of styling of it all. It's also, some of the scenes are set in Bangkok and Thailand, so I found that really interesting to watch. And I also found out afterwards actually that a lot of the scenes are set and filmed around where I used to live in Luton and Bedfordshire. So yeah, it was really interesting to see that they actually filmed some of the scenes in Bedfordshire and pretended that they were in Thailand or Bangkok. So that was really interesting to know afterwards. So definitely go and watch those two if you like your vintage styling and fashion like I do. I just thought I would also share a lovely book that I'm reading at the moment. I'm reading a book called The Missing Pieces of Nancy Moon, and I'll put a picture in here because I'm actually reading it on my Kindle. But it's another one that's really good for sort of dressmaking and sewing, and if you like sort of vintage fashion and sewing. It's an absolutely brilliant book to read. So it's basically, without giving too much away again, it's about a lady who discovers that her grandmother had a sister who was never really spoken about or anything, but this sister was an amazing seamstress. She made loads of dresses, and she went off to work in Paris and made all of these lovely dresses up. And the granddaughter kind of goes off to France and relives the grandmother's sister's life through the dresses that she's made. So it references quite a lot of vintage patterns and things, which you can look up and see. So you can kind of actually see the dresses that they talk about in the book. And yeah, it's all kind of, it's one of those books where part of it's set in the past and part of it's now, so it kind of switches from the past and back again. And I find those kind of books really interesting. So that's a really lovely sewing related book if you're into that kind of thing like I am. So I think that's all of the plans I have to share with you for February. I didn't want to give myself too much to do or think about, because my main focus is definitely going to be to get this coat finished and done, because I don't know about you, but I can't stop thinking about something once I've started something like this. It's actually been waking me up in the night because I've been thinking about changes I need to make and things I need to do to the pattern. I'm a nightmare with things like that, so I think I just need to focus on this for this month, and then if I can get some of the other things that I've had planned made up as well, that will be a bonus. So do let me know in the comments below what you're working on as well. Have you got anything big going on like my coat, or are you just planning some simple makes this month? Let me know. I think for next week I'm going to record my Q&A video, which is very exciting. So thanks for all the questions that everyone's asked so far. I've had quite a few. So yeah, I'm really excited to film that. But if you do have any more questions, then don't forget to leave them in the comments below. I'd love you to subscribe to my channel if you haven't already, and do give the video a like if you've enjoyed it. And I always love chatting to everyone in the comments below as well, so do leave me a comment if you want to. So I think that's all I have to say. Enjoy the rest of your week and enjoy your day, and I'll see you soon. Bye.